Beer here back in the Fantasy Bar. Big Friday night in MLB. We got 6 of my favorite plays for you on FanDuel and DraftKings, including a couple slow starters we can buy low on, a way to get different from Coors Field, and a first time ever in the Beast of the Night spot. Who and what are we talking about? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack to be back here once again, hanging out in the Fantasy Bar, talking MLB with 6 of my favorite plays for Friday night. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out the Fantasy Bar. Now, before we get into the plays, as always, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. That is the tip jar here in the Fantasy Bar. Subscribe to the channel as well. Get notified when these videos are coming out. And guys, go and check out scoresandodds.com/beer. Made it easy for you to link in the description of the video. Tons and tons of sports betting information, including premium picks to make your life easy in all of the different sports. After this video, go and check it out. scoresandodds.com/beer. All right, let's get into the plays here. Weather looks good. Coors Field on the docket. You guys know the rule here in the Fantasy Bar. We're going to look for ways to get away from Coors Field. Not that it's a bad play. Sometimes it's too easy, and we want to get different from the pack. All right, let's start at first base, second base, third base, depending on your site. A lot of flexibility here with Max Muncy of the Dodgers. Now, I mentioned some slow starters in the open, and that's certainly Max Muncy here. Not getting a ton of production so far out of him, but history tells us this guy's going to get it going sooner rather than later. So let's take a look at some of the numbers here against right-handed pitching, and he stands up above everyone else here in ISO against righties. Yes, more than even Freddie Freeman, the newly acquired first baseman. 274 ISO for Muncy there. And fastballs post some really big numbers there as well. A huge 457 ISO against that pitch. Gutierrez uses that almost half the time against lefties, so not going to be good news here for Gutierrez against these Dodger bats. He has struggled against lefties as well. 355 WOBA, 239 ISO, and a lot of fly balls and hard contact, both right around 45%. Max Muncy gets it going here tonight against Mr. Gutierrez. All right, let's get to another guy. It's off to a slow start with his new team here. That's outfielder Jesse Winker of the Mariners. So another guy I think people are going to shy away from, but this guy's been too good to ignore. Kind of similar case with Max Muncy. Dig into some of the numbers, and he has been a monster against right-handed pitching. 440 weighted OBA for him, 300 in the ISO department. So a lot of power here with Winker. Very good against fastballs as well. 393 weighted OBA, and he's going to see a lot of those from Odorizzi at a 57% clip. 2 left-handed hitters. Odorizzi, we know, has had his struggles with lefties, but specifically that power mix we're always talking about, hard contact, fly ball rates, both at 44%. Again, Winker, Muncy, I think they get it going here tonight and break out of these mini slumps. All right, let's go to the infield here at first base with Jared Walsh of the Angels. Now we know we talk Angels, it's always Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani. This guy kind of gets overshadowed a little bit. Make sure he's a part of your build tonight, specifically if you're building that stack with the Angels. Mike Trout, we know, very good against righties. Jared Walsh, very good from the left side here, 227 ISO. Big 396 weighted OBA here for him as well, and matches up very well. And again, you can find all this information in our Plate IQ tool here on RotoGrinders, but mainly you're going to see changeups and fastballs here from Abreu. 410 WOBA, 345 ISO against that changeup, and 420 the weighted OBA for the fastball, 268 the ISO. So those are about 65% of the pitches he's going to see. Abreu, we know, very limited sample here, but has had his struggles with lefties. 357 WOBA, big 313 ISO, so allowing a lot of power and, of course, a lot of fly balls at 45%. Don't forget about Mr. Jared Walsh here in your builds and your Angel stacks tonight. All right, let's go to starting pitching here. We're going to spend some money on Carlos Rodon of the Giants. So you look across this pitching slate, there's some intriguing options in the mid-range, no doubt. Jordan Montgomery stands out to me as a guy you can look at as an SP2. But I want to spend up on Rodon here against this Cleveland Guardians team. 35.5% strikeout rate for him since the start of 2021. You also have Coors Field, which a lot of people are going to be stacking up. That's where they're going to spend their money. So we'll have a lower ownership on Rodon than we normally would. If Coors wasn't on the docket, he'd probably be a lot higher owned here. So we can take advantage of that situation here. And the Guardians, not a lot of punch in this lineup. Only one bat with an ISO over 240 against lefties. Jose Ramirez, the main threat in this lineup. Rodon's done a great job against him over the course of these matchups. We know, former White Sox, these guys have matched up a ton. He's held Ramirez to 6 for 29 over his career. He's also limited power against both righties and lefties. ISO under 140 against righties and under 100 against lefties since the start of 2021. So a guy that can rack up a lot of strikeouts, a guy that has limited power, and a guy that has maintained and controlled the best bat in this Cleveland lineup. Rodon checking a lot of boxes for me here tonight. Spend up, get him in that lineup tonight against the Cleveland Guardians. All right, let's go back to the outfield. Next play for us, the red-hot Austin Meadows of the Tigers. This guy's come over and made an instant impact here for the Detroit Tigers. Hits in every single game, multi-hit games in each of the last 3 and 4 of the last 5. So just continues to rake here at the plate. Big time numbers against righties as you'd expect. An ISO at 295, WOBA at 376. And you talk about a pitching matchup here that lines up extremely well. Keller gonna throw fastball, sliders, sinkers. Look at the numbers here on the screen for Austin Meadows. ISOs of 282, 381, and 365 against those pitches. Huge numbers here for Austin Meadows. Keller, a little bit of struggles against lefties, 358 WOBA, but a lot of hard contact at 42%. Austin Meadows, red hot. Stay in those lineups here tonight. Great matchup here with Mr. Keller. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Night contest. This is a thank you to you guys for checking out the video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video and guess fantasy points for my highest scoring hitter of the 5 bats I'm going to give you. All we need is the fantasy points on DraftKings. Closest guess going to win themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. Chance to check everything out, including the Plate IQ tool I am always using in this video. Don't forget, want to know your Beast of the Night as well. Who's your favorite play? Hitter, pitcher, stack, whatever it may be. Include that as well down low in the comment section. All right, let's wrap this baby up. My favorite play for Friday night, you know him as Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time, and I think for the first time ever here in the history of the six-pack, and we're going back almost a decade, we're going to have a catcher in the Beast spot. We're going with Salvador Perez of the Royals, tonight's Beast of the Night. Now, catcher, not normally a spot that I like to spend up on DraftKings, usually trying to save some money here. FanDuel, you're generally looking at a first baseman. Perez is the play here tonight. You have that flex spot on FanDuel as well, which gives you a little room to still fit a first baseman like Jared Walsh. But this is definitely the exception for me, and why Perez has been that good against left-handed pitching. 329 ISO for him, 394 the weighted OBA, massive 51% hard contact rate, and he's going to see fastballs, which he will, from Scooble. Uses that pitch almost half the time. Look at the numbers against that pitch. 523 ISO, one of the biggest power numbers that you will see. WOBA approaching 450 here, and Scooble, this has been his issue. Power righties, giving up home runs, keeping the ball in the ballpark. 262 ISO allowed, 43% fly ball rate, and a 42% hard contact rate. Salvador Perez stands out to me as the best play on this slate and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that wraps up for Friday night with 6 of my favorite plays on FanDuel and DraftKings. If you guys have any comments, questions, feedback, please hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, fantasy points for my highest scoring bat of the 5 hitters I gave you for a shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. Get that guess in the comment section along with your Beast or your stack of the night as well. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Have a great weekend. Happy Easter to everybody out there. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist